Hello guys, welcome to the video, and today we will be cranking out as many easy problems as possible in under an hour. We're going to start off with Lisa's workbook problem, and let's get into it. Lisa just got a new math workbook. A workbook contains exercise problems grouped into chapters. Lisa believes a problem to be special if its index within a chapter is the same as the page number where it's located. The format of Lisa's book is as follows. There are n chapters in Lisa's workbench numbered from 1 to n. The ith chapter has array I problems. Each page can hold up to k problems. Only a chapter's last page of an exercise may contain fewer than k problems. Each new chapter starts on a new page, so a page will never contain problems from more than one chapter. The page number indexing starts at 1. Here's the example. So the pages are indexed based on within a chapter. So if you're looking at the first example, I mean, we kind of already went over this, but there's going to be 4 problems. That means there's going to be an index. There's going to be indices from 1 to 4. Pause. All right. So it's not hard to know the page number that we're at, because you can just take the ceiling of the amount of problems in a chapter divided by k, and that'll give you the amount of pages. But I don't know how you go about knowing what pages have what problems. Okay, well, we're at page 3, so we know that we're going to be wanting problem 3. And so, in this case, problem 3 is not even in range. Problem 3 doesn't even exist, but let's say that it did. Let's say it's 4, 4, which would give us a total of 4 pages. I wonder how many times this can even happen, though, before it, like, never will happen again. I need to turn back on. My phone's off. You could say that you look at the amount of problems in a chapter, divided by k, take the ceiling of it divided by k, and you know that's the amount of pages that you're looking at. So that's the amount of pages in a chapter. So once you know the amount of pages in a chapter, you can say, oh, I think I got this now. I think I understand it now. But first, I'd like you guys to take a look at this wonderful dog of mine. Her name is Loba. She's a sweetheart. She lets me do whatever I want with her. I give her hugs. She loves hugs. She's just an absolute sweetheart. She gets a little feisty if you make her. She's definitely not in the feisty mood right now. She's definitely in the cuddling mood. Oh, you're such a good girl, Loba. Equals 0 for problems in array, pages in chapter is equal to the math dot ceiling of array of problems divided by k. For I in range, we're gonna go from total pages plus pages in chapter, and we might want to possibly go from total, we should probably go from total pages plus 1 to total pages plus 1 plus pages in chapter. And then, so in the first one, this is going to iterate from, well, first of all, it's going to say there's two problems in the first chapter. It's going to say that we're going to iterate from total pages plus 1, which is 0, so 1, 1, 1 to total pages plus 1 is 1, plus pages in chapter, so 1 to 3. And I think that 1 to 3 might not be right. I think I might want to subtract the... All right. No! You were just saying, I just need to hold on to. No! Pages on problem. Oh, fuck, what? Okay, pages in chapter 2, problems in chapter 4. Why does it start off on chapter... Oh, okay, I see what I did there. Whatever, it works the same anyways. Pages in chapter, there are 2, yeah. Problems in chapters 4, pages seen as 0, considering page 1. The amount of problems on page 1 is definitely not 3, or definitely not 1. Problems in the page. Okay, let's try this again. Pages in chapter are... Okay, well that's not very helpful, is it? Alright, so. Yup. Considering page 1, problem on page 1, again, is not 1. It's 3. Problems. No, it's not gonna work. And that's not gonna work either. Good. Say hi. Oh, look at go. Ow. I'm actually kind of confused as to why this doesn't work, because it would be problems, which is 3 minus I minus 1, I minus 1, I is 1, minus 1 is 0, times k is still 0, so it should be 3. I actually don't know where that's coming from. Considering page 1, problems on page 1, that is not right. Oh. Page, special problem, chapter 2, or no, there's 2 pages, which is correct. Problems in chapter is 8, okay, considering page 1, problems on page. There's definitely not 8 pages. Okay, so, considering page 1. Well, that's wrong. Should not be considering page 1. Yeah, no, it should be considering page 1 at all. Nope. Pages seen. I think this should just be 1. Why do I have... Some of the shit I did in this is just like next level retarded. Oh, don't be green skin. Be contact. Don't say goodbye. Smell you later. I don't want to end the season on a bad episode, nigga. Pages seen plus equals. Bro, I'm actually kind of surprised that one didn't fix the problem. Okay, so pages in chapter, correct. Considering page 1, problems on page. No, there's not that many. Considering page 1. So, boy oh boy. So, considering page I, 1, problems 4, minus 1 minus 1, 0. That's why. It's not even fucking possible. Okay. Considering page 2, pages in chapter 1, correct? Correct. Considering page 1. Again, that's wrong. And that's why. God damn it. Whatever. And, is that fucking P. Diddy? Swear to God, I just saw P. Diddy on this fucker. That's gotta be P. Diddy, bruh. Um. Okay, well, I had min locked on this bad Larry. Okay. Minus, pages seen -1. Jeez, that is a very long thing right there. Alright, alright. So the problems on this page are 3, considering page 2, problems on page. Considering page 3. Okay, special problem on page 3. That is not factual. Not factual. And why is it saying that there is? There should not be a special page there. God, why did I drink so much, smoke so much? Oh. Okay, so I is a specific page that we're looking at, and we want to see. This would work if this was up here, but if I do that, then the thing's gonna be all fucked up. The range is gonna be fucked up. Pages seen. I is the page that we're on. Fuck out of here. Considering page 2, problems on pages 1. Considering page 3, alright, pages in chapter 2, problems in chapter are 6. That's exactly correct. Considering page 4 won't have the thing. Problems on page 3, correct. Page 5 will have it. And it knows that. Okay, cool. So there's one problem considering page 6, problems on page 6, yep. Problems in chapter 10 or chapter are 10. Considering page 7, it's not going to do it. 6, it's not going to do it. Considering page 9, problems on page. This one should have activated it. Shut up! Hey, so I was gone for a bit, I'm back now, and we're still working on the same problem. So one thing I made a little change off screen was I just added greater than or equal sign, and that brings us a lot closer to a solution. The only time this is failing is, well, we got this test case right here that's failing. It's only failing by 1, so we're not far off from a solution here. So we're going to consider page 1. Well, chapter 1, there are 3 problems. Considering page 1, there are, okay, so it's a special page there. The second chapter has 2 pages and there are 8 problems. The first page will have 5 problems and the next will have 3. Yeah, that would be wrong, I think, actually. Considering page 2, no, that would be right. Okay. Problem seen. Considering page 3. At this point, it should not find a special, and it doesn't. Cool. In the third chapter, there are 3 pages and 15 problems. Considering page 4, it will have a special problem on page 4. Where are we at? Page 4. So at page 4 we've seen 5 problems. Considering page 5, there shouldn't be a special problem on page 5, I don't think. Hey! What's going on? Alright, considering page 4, it's going to read out the 5 different things. And there should be a special problem on page 4. Page 5, I don't think there should be a special problem. I think that's the issue, actually. Alright. And that is because I should be greater than the problem seen, but possibly less than or equal to this. Wow. How funny is that? I've never seen this in like the comparison sign be equal. Dude, this problem is already pushing what, like 30 something minutes? Like, this was supposed to be an easy problem, and this is definitely the hardest easy problem I've seen so far. So, alright, well, I think we're actually pretty far off from finishing this problem. Let me ask ChatGPT something. Let me ask it a few things, actually. Wow, very complex time complexity. Alright, so we hit the optimal time complexity, which is nice. But I'm pretty sure this problem has some very simple solutions. Okay, so this is a double for loop. You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and duplicate this, and we're going to do a half screen because I'm curious to like look at my solution compared to the others. What? All right. Here we are. Let's get rid of all this. Not too shabby. Honestly, pretty dense. So these people initialize a book array and an answers array. Answer is basically our pages seen, or no, special pages. We say for I in range n, we do something similar, I think. Yeah. We chose to enumerate over array, but that's the same thing, n in array. So array of I divided by k. Oh, and that's like the floor operator of divided by k. So they're saying, what is k again? K is the amount of pages. So if we had 4 divided by 3, that was just okay. And then what? I think they come back down? What is this? They append some crazy ass calculations here. So they append a list. I've never seen range used in this way. Okay, so I don't know how range works properly. I've only ever used it in context of for loops, so I guess I'm going to go study up on that. This girl's not like you. I'm gonna move this over here just for the timing so you guys can see what I'm researching. Alright, it generates a sequence of integers. It's a special range object, not a list that you can iterate over, so it's kind of like a generator, I think. So I know all this. Okay, so it generates the numbers. Okay. So it's like a generator, but not strictly like an actual generator. And so it doesn't store all the numbers in memory at once. Indexable, reusable. Okay. I definitely don't need to be using O1 for these. You can directly access elements by their index. Alright, I'm actually going to add this to my notes, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this for just a second, because that's actually some information worth taking notes. I'm back! And I kind of forget what I was doing, honestly. I was taking notes! Alright, so with our notes taken on range, we can kind of... You know, I'm actually going to give you guys a little brief rundown on ranges, because there's a very good chance not everybody knows about these. First of all, I'd like to note the 129 pages of notes that I have here. Ranges generate an immutable sequence object. So they don't, ranges at no point do they ever actually generate all of the numbers in that range. So you basically, ranges will return one number at a time. Ranges are indexable, which is unlike a generator, which I keep referring to generators because ranges are just very similar to generators in the fact that, like, they don't generate all the numbers at once, and by stepping through it, you basically get different results. And it's the same thing with a range, except that ranges are reusable. So, like, once you exhaust all of the generations within a generator, you can't reuse that generator. You have to create a new one. But ranges, you can reuse them as many times as you'd like. Ranges also have a length property. So the length property is basically the amount of iterations or items that you would get in a range. So look at this range. So this is, I should have, there we go. I think that'll work. I'm just going to be explicit. So we start at 0, we end at 10, and we step by 2, right? And if you do the math, or if you think about it, depending on whether or not this 10 and this 0 are inclusive, I'm trying to assume that there's like 10 values in between these two indices, right? And then I'm assuming we're stepping by 2. So if that was the case, then we would get 5 elements in the range. And if you reference 3, so if you index the range at 3, it's going to give you the third iteration. And since we're stepping by 2, that would give us 6 since we start at 0, because it would be 0 plus 2, which is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, right? I think that covers everything with the ranges. I like to keep notes. So I saw something that says that notes are not useful. I think that notes are useful, but I don't think they're useful to the extent that, like, people make them out to be. I think they're good as a way of making sure that you're able to, like, verbalize and communicate the information that you know, because if you can't clearly communicate certain things, then you don't know certain things. So it's basically just a good way to information check yourself. Writing it one time, basically, at least, you have more mental stimulus associated with the information that you just consumed. There's more time spent thinking about the information you've consumed. And I like to use my notes too as like a way of, like if I'm stuck on something and I want to cheat, sometimes I'll permit myself to look at my notes because basically just forces me to make sure that I at least did my due diligence in trying to learn it and kind of like giving myself a break and a little pat on the back, like congrats, you actually fucking went through the effort of really learning this. But I seriously think the best thing about the notes is just the fact that you have to like be able to communicate the information that you know and just it information checks you, like make sure you actually know your shit. I definitely like going through high school and middle school and everything. I never kept notes of anything. Like even when we were forced to keep notes, I never kept notes, and my grades probably could have been better. But I didn't learn proper studying practices until after I graduated. Anyhow, we were looking at this other dude's thing. So he generates a range and he converts it to a list, and he says h times k plus 1. So that would be... I don't honestly even want to think about it. Wow, some of these people did a very good job at making these very simple. And range n. That's the amount of problems. So if the problems divided by k is 0, which it's a very rare scenario, but okay. Page plus equals 1. Book that append. Why does everybody keep a book? Why is everybody keeping a book array? Let me ask ChatGPT to explain this to me. I mean, I pretty much keep track of a book thing as well. I just do it in a really shitty way, I guess. Yeah. I'm definitely not cool for not keeping track of that. Because, like, page is seen and problem seen. I guess problem seen is different. Okay, this is just a smarter way of, like, storing information, I suppose. Alright, so that's just like a very elegant way of doing this problem. What? Instead of iterating over each problem, we can check if current page falls within the range. Problem number to last problem on page. I think this guy had a similar approach to me. I do this exact check, actually. Except I don't do less than or equal. But I also think that's an artifact of maybe something to do with the problem number. I think that it does, yeah. Yeah, this is much more, this is very similar to the one that I did. Yeah, my shit's just disgustingly overcomplicated. So, I don't think index really gets used. So, I could definitely remove... I don't really want to go over this problem too more, do I? Alright, well, just imagine this is what I programmed, because this is basically the point that I would have liked to end up at. This is pretty close to the implementation that I was going for. Alright, well, I guess that's the end of the video. What can I say about... You know what? This is not the end of the video. I want to ask ChatGPT something. Let me move this back over here. Move this. Move this back over here. Okay, iterative simulation, working with constraints, matching conditions, edge case management, time complexity analysis, practical applications. Yeah, this is kind of what I figured. I didn't think there was any huge takeaways from this. This problem was actually just, for an easy problem, very difficult and pretty rich with just strange scenarios, and it basically, it kind of forces you to think about a bunch of different ways of taking this problem. So as for easy problems are concerned, I think this one is one of the hardest that there could possibly be. Anyhow, I guess that's going to be the end of the video. Have a good one, guys.